If you edit sports videos and you're at a point where you'd like to take your editing style to the next level, well, one of the easiest and most effective ways to do that is by using sound design. Adding sound effects to your edits brings your footage to life and gives it a lot more impact. But the problem that most editors run into is that it's not that easy to find good sports sound effects. You can always find some free ones on YouTube, but you'll always end up missing one key sound effect that you really need, or you'll be using the same one over and over. Or what you could do as well is buy like a basketball pack, for example, but then if you later on edit a football video, then you're back to square one. So today I'm here to introduce my brand new Ultimate Sports Sound Effects Pack, which includes over 700 sound effects in 12 different sports. So this is literally the last pack you will ever need for your sports videos.
Click, 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 swish. I'm a videographer and I'm on the verse, so when I shoot my shot, I don't miss. I'm gonna take the shot, take the shot, take the shot.
Hey guys, my name is Ish. I'm a professional sports videographer with over 15 years of experience, maybe even 16 now, not even sure, doesn't matter. What really matters is that I just released my first sports sound effects pack. I'm very excited about it, so I'm here today to talk about it. Just so you know, we're not going to do any actual sound design in here today because I want to stay out of it. I want other sports videographers to do that and tell you what they think. So in my next video, that's exactly what's going to happen. I reached out to a few very talented sports videographers on Instagram, and they are currently working on some edits with my pack. I haven't seen anything, I haven't heard anything, so it's quite exciting actually. And yeah, looking forward to seeing the result in the next video. And if you do as well, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss it. Otherwise, today we're just going to break down the pack, go through what's actually in it, and how you can use it, and pricing, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. First of all, when you download the pack and you unzip it, you end up with these two folders right here. So one is the bonus folder, which we'll go through a bit later on, but the other one is the sports folder, which is where all the different categories are. So as you can see, there's 12 different sports. So we've got baseball, basketball, bowling, boxing, cricket, football, golf, hockey, rugby, soccer, tennis, and volleyball. So as a sports videographer, you should be pretty set. And even if you're only doing basketball videos at the moment, I'll talk about pricing a bit later on, but right now you're basically getting 12 sports for the price of one. So you might as well get that pack because you never know, in the future you might be working on other sports. So if we open one of the sports folders, let's go into baseball, you'll see that there's two folders, which is the same for every sport. There's an MP3 folder and a WAV one. Difference between the two is basically that it's basically quality. WAV files are better quality than MP3s. To be honest, most people won't really hear the difference, but the main difference is that MP3 files are compressed and WAV files are not. So if you're working on a TV show or on a high quality stream or a podcast, you probably want to stick to WAV. And if you're just doing social media content, things like that, MP3s are fine. Not that you can't use WAV files for that, but if you are conscious about the data size of your projects and things like that, then yeah, you can just stick to MP3s. And like I said, to be honest, not many people are going to hear the difference, especially that your sound effects are probably going to be mixed in with music and stuff. So it is what it is. They're both there. Once we go into, I'll just open the MP3 as an example, you'll see that there's basically a file for every action. And the reason why I did it that way, because as you can see, there's a number at the end of each file. That number represents the amount of sound effects that are in that file. So if I play the first one, you can hear all these different baseball catches one after the other. There's 15 of them. The reason I did it that way is very much so because that's how I prefer it. Basically, when I edit in Premiere, what I hate to do is having to open, when you're looking for a particular sound effect and you have to listen to a lot of them before you find the right one, and having to go through 15 different ones by double clicking and playing one after the next. There's a lot of clicking, and then I have to go back to the first one, and then the playheads at the end, I got to bring it back to the start. It's just annoying as hell. So this way, they're all there. I just play it, I let it go, and then I can just listen. And when I hear one that I think is the right one, I just, put an in and out, grab that one, try it. Might not be the right one straight away, but it's much easier. There's a lot less opening and closing files going. And yeah, for me, I think it accelerates my my workflow a lot. That's how I like it. So that's how I did it. So which is why, I say 700 sound effects. There's not 700 files. But yeah, if you add up all the numbers at the end of each files, I think it adds up to 712, something along those lines. Don't quote me on this. But as you can see in baseball, we've got pretty much all the typical sounds that you would need for a baseball game. If we go in basketball, it's pretty much the same. You got bounce, you got catch, dribble, a net with chain. Well, a net made out of chains, a rim with chains, slam dunks. So these are all the typical actions that you would get in all these different sports. And another thing that you should know is that none of these actions have crowd noise attached to them. All these actions are clean audio, no noise, no nothing. So that way, I find it much easier to edit that way, because sometimes when there's crowd noise attached to it, you're sort of painted in a corner where now you need to have the crowd shot to fit what the audio is doing. So, we don't all film games that have big crowds. So it's much easier, I think, to have sound effects that are clean and then add the atmosphere separately, which also comes in this pack. This is where the bonus folder comes into the picture, and which we'll get to in a minute. Actually, we can get to it now. I think you get the gist of all the different sports. I'm not going to go through all of them, but yeah, if we move on to the bonus section, you'll see I've got crowd and atmospheres, I've got locker room, whistles, buzzers and horns, and whoosh transitions. Whoosh transitions I've put in there because obviously in a lot of sports there's a lot of camera whipping, there's a lot of shooting, passing. I use whoosh sounds all the time for these things, so I included it in the bonus section. In the whistles, obviously, you have all sorts of whistles to fit all sorts of sports. Buzzers are, all the different buzzers that you would hear at the end of a quarter or at the end of a game, things like that. Horns, same thing. Locker room, typical sounds that you would get in the locker room. And the crowd and atmospheres, let's go through that one. So you got atmosphere for outdoor sports, which is just like crowd noise, nothing it's not like chants or anything, that comes separately. We've got atmospheres for indoor stadiums. Atmosphere, when you see like steps on grass and steps on gym floor, that's because I basically didn't want to cheat and say, because obviously every indoor sports is pretty much always sneakers, and every outdoor sports is always cleats on grass. So I could have just said, steps of someone playing volleyball, steps of someone playing basketball, and it would all be the same thing at the end of the day. So I've just put that in atmosphere. So you've got steps of people wearing sneakers on the gym floor, and then you got steps of people wearing cleats on grass, and you can use it where you see fit, basically. And otherwise, the crowd noises are more where you would use them at specific times. So the crowd, you've got the applause, the boos, the chants, the cheers, the disappointments. And yeah, like I said, the other ones, the atmosphere, outdoors and stadiums are more like background noise type of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the effects themselves. And as far as how to use them, that's going to be pretty quick because you literally can just drag and drop your folder into your editing software and they're instantly going to be there and ready to go like any I'm sure if you're buying this pack, you've used MP3 and WAV files before, so you already know that importing them into your editing software is not going to be very complicated, but I just thought I'd mention it. And also, when you are playing them, one thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that I've put markers at the start of every effect in each file. So if there's 4 effects, there'll be 4 markers exactly where each of them starts. The reason being that for some effects, the ones that are very clear, like a catch or a slap shot or something like that, it's pretty easy to see where it starts. But when it's an atmosphere or when it's something that has like a consistent, like a boxing, for example, I've got like the speed bags. So if you want to, I wanted to make sure that people knew where the first effect begins and ends, and then the second one starts, and so on. So yeah, I've got markers at the beginning of each one, so there's no confusion, and hopefully it'll make your workflow even faster. Otherwise, price. This pack at the moment of this recording is on sale for $39 US, which is the same price that you would pay somewhere else for a pack of just one sport. So it's kind of a no-brainer at this point. I can't tell you when the sale will end because it's not a question of time. It's a question of when I reach a certain amount of sales. So I don't really know how long it's going to take. So yeah, if you want to make the most of that sale, do it now, because the next price point is going to be $59, which is still very good value for 12 different sports plus 4 different categories, but $39 is even better. So you should jump on that while it's available. Otherwise, obviously, there's a link in the description below if you want to buy it. Also, don't forget that in my next video, we'll go through a few edits, all sound designed with the pack. So if you want to see it in action, make sure you tune in. Once again, my name is E, and I hope I earned the privilege of your time.